Westwood High School was a troubled place. The students did not care about school, and many skipped classes. Teachers were tired, and the principal had no solution. The rugby team was weak, losing every game. No one believed they could ever win. The players had no discipline. They arrived late to practice and did not listen to the coach. Some fought with each other, and others did not even try. Their grades were bad, and some were close to being expelled. They thought rugby was just for fun. The community did not support the team. Parents did not come to games, and students made jokes about them. Other schools saw them as an easy win. They had no respect, no motivation, and no hope. The school's reputation was getting worse. Everything changed when Coach Daniels arrived. He was strong, serious, and had a plan. He told them, "If you want to play, you must follow my rules." The players laughed at first, but soon they realized he was not joking. A new journey had begun. Coach Daniels was a former rugby player. He had played at a high level, but his career ended early. Now, he wanted to teach young players the power of discipline. He believed rugby could change lives. But first, he had to change their mindset. The first day, Coach Daniels watched them practice. They were slow, lazy, and unmotivated. They did not play as a team. He stopped the practice and shouted, "This is not rugby. Rugby is about teamwork, effort, and respect." The players were silent. He gave them new rules. No discipline, no rugby. No good grades, no rugby. No teamwork, no rugby. Some players were angry. They did not like rules. "This is stupid," one player said. But Coach Daniels did not care. His rules were final. That day, many players thought about quitting. Why should we listen to him? They asked. But something about Coach Daniels was different. He was serious. He believed in them. And deep inside, some of them wanted to change. The next practice was tough. Coach Daniels made them run, push, and train harder than ever. "No pain, no gain," he said. Some players tried, but others refused. One player, Jason, laughed and said, "This is too much." He left practice early. The team had no respect for each other. They insulted teammates when they made mistakes. "You are too slow. You can't pass." Coach Daniels saw this and stopped the practice. In rugby, we play as a team. If one fails, we all fail. Coach Daniels introduced new drills. They had to pass the ball in silence. They had to run as a group. He wanted them to understand teamwork. "Rugby is not about you. It is about us," he explained. Some players listened. Others ignored him. After practice, some players stayed to talk. "Maybe he is right," said Mike, the captain. "Maybe we need to change." A few agreed, but others did not. Change was hard. But for the first time, some players started thinking differently. Coach Daniels arrived at practice with a list. "New rules," he said. "Number 1, no practice, no game. Number 2, no school, no rugby. Number 3, no teamwork, no play." The players groaned. They hated rules. "Why do we have to study?" One player asked. "We just want to play." Coach Daniels was firm. "If you want to play, you must pass your classes." Some players rolled their eyes. But a few started thinking, maybe rugby could help them. The first test came fast. A teacher told Coach Daniels that 3 players skipped class. The next practice, he made them sit on the bench. "No school, no rugby," he reminded them. They were angry, but they understood. The rules were real. Slowly, some players started doing homework. Others helped teammates with studying. "If we want to play, we have to try," one said. For the first time, rugby was changing their attitude. The team was not just about the game anymore. Some players were excited about the change. "Coach is right," said Mike. "We need to work harder." He started arriving early to practice. He helped teammates train. He wanted to show Coach Daniels that he believed in the team. Others were not happy. Jason, the player who left early before, complained. "This is too serious. Rugby should be fun." He started missing practice. Coach Daniels warned him. "If you don't follow the rules, you are out." Jason did not care. One day, the principal visited the practice. "I see some changes," she told Coach Daniels. "The players are more focused. Their grades are improving." Coach Daniels nodded. "We are just getting started," he said. He knew this was only the beginning. After practice, the team sat together. "Are we ready to be real players?" Mike asked. Some nodded. Some were unsure. But something was different. For the first time, they wanted more. They wanted to win. The next practice was harder than ever. Coach Daniels made them run for an hour. "Rugby is not for the weak," he said. Others were frustrated. "Why do we have to suffer so much?" they asked. He introduced new drills. They had to pass the ball perfectly. They had to tackle correctly. If one player made a mistake, the whole team repeated the drill. "We win together. We lose together," Coach Daniels reminded them. Some players started improving. Mike, the captain, showed leadership. He encouraged others. "Come on, we can do this," he said. Players began trusting him. They started trusting each other. The team was changing, but not everyone was happy. Jason still did not care. "This is too much," he complained. He skipped another practice. Coach Daniels gave him a choice. "Commit or leave," he said. Jason had to decide. Some players had problems at home. Alex, a fast winger, had to work after school. He had no time for studying. "How can I play if I fail my classes?" he asked. Coach Daniels saw his struggle. "We will find a way," he promised. Dylan, another player, was shy. He never spoke much. On the field, he was afraid to tackle. "I'm not strong enough," he said. Coach Daniels encouraged him. "Strength is not just muscles. It's in your mind," he told him. Meanwhile, Jason started hanging out with the wrong crowd. He skipped school and got into trouble. "I don't need rugby," he said. His friends laughed at the team. "You will never win," they told him. He started believing them. The rest of the team worked harder. They were improving. But Coach Daniels knew something was missing. "We are better, but we are not ready," he said. They needed a real test. A big game was coming. The team was nervous. Their first real match was against a strong school. "They are better than us," some players said. But Coach Daniels told them, "Play with heart. Play as a team. That is what matters." The game started badly. The other team was faster and stronger. They scored early. Westwood players panicked. "We can't do this," one said. Mistakes happened. Passes were bad. Tackles were weak. At halftime, Coach Daniels gave a speech. "Look at how far you've come. Do not give up now," he said. The team went back stronger. They played better in the second half. They scored their first try. They felt hope. But it was not enough. The other team won. Westwood lost their first game. Some players were sad. Others were angry. "We worked so hard. Why did we lose?" they asked. Coach Daniels smiled. "Because this is just the beginning." The players were frustrated. "Losing hurts," Mike said. "But we did better than before," Alex added. They started seeing progress. The loss did not break them. It made them stronger. Coach Daniels increased the intensity. "If we want to win, we must train harder," he said. The players agreed. They ran faster, tackled harder, and worked as a real team. The energy was different now. Jason saw the change but still did not return. But his new friends laughed. "Forget rugby," they told him. Jason felt lost. Meanwhile, the school started noticing the change. Teachers saw improvement in grades. Parents started supporting the team. For the first time, Westwood High believed in their rugby team. The players felt the pressure. The next game was against a weaker team. "This is our chance," Mike said. But Coach Daniels warned them. "Never underestimate your opponent," he said. The team nodded. They were ready. The game started well. The team played with confidence. Passes were smooth. Tackles were strong. They scored the first try. The crowd cheered. The players smiled. "We are doing it," Alex shouted. The other team fought back. They scored too. The match was close. But this time, Westwood did not panic. They stayed focused. In the last minutes, Dylan made a brave tackle. Mike passed the ball to Alex, who ran and scored the winning try. The whistle blew. They won. For the first time, Westwood High won a rugby game. The team celebrated. "We did it," they shouted. But Coach Daniels reminded them, "This is just the start. Now we go for more." The team was full of energy after their first win. "We are getting better," Alex said. The players felt stronger. They believed in themselves. Coach Daniels was proud, but he warned them. "Winning one game is not enough. We must keep working." Their next game was against a tough team. "They have strong players," Dylan said. The Westwood team trained harder. They practiced new strategies. "We are not afraid," Mike said. They wanted to prove that their first win was not luck. Outside the field, the players were changing. Their grades were improving. Teachers noticed their discipline. "Rugby is making them better students," one teacher said. The team felt proud. Rugby was shaping their future. But Jason was still absent. He watched the team from a distance. "They don't need me," he thought. His new friends told him, "You made the right choice." But deep inside, Jason was not sure. He missed rugby. Game day arrived. The stadium was packed. "This is the biggest crowd yet," Alex said. The players felt nervous, but Coach Daniels told them, "Stay focused. Play your game." The whistle blew and the match began. The other team was fast. They scored first. Westwood struggled to keep up. "They are stronger than us," one player said. Mistakes happened. Passes were missed. "Stay calm," Mike shouted. But the team started losing confidence. At halftime, Coach Daniels spoke. "You are better than this. Believe in yourself." His words lit a fire in them. They returned to the field with a new mindset. They played harder, with teamwork and strategy. In the last minutes, the score was tied. Westwood had one chance to win. Alex ran with the ball. He passed to Dylan, who made the final try. The whistle blew. They won again. The team exploded with joy. "We did it again," they shouted. After the game, Jason sat alone. He saw his old teammates celebrating. "I should have been there," he thought. He remembered Coach Daniels' words. "Commit or leave." He had left. Now, he regretted it. His new friends laughed at the team. "Rugby is a waste of time," they said. But Jason did not laugh. He felt something missing. The discipline, the teamwork, the challenge rugby had given him purpose. The next day he went to practice. "Can I come back?" he asked. The team was surprised. Some were angry. "You left us," Mike said. Jason lowered his head. "I made a mistake," he admitted. Coach Daniels thought for a moment. "You can return, but you must earn your place," he said. Jason nodded. He was ready to prove himself. But winning back his teammates' trust would not be easy. The season was ending. One last game remained, the championship final. "This is our biggest challenge," Coach Daniels said. The team trained harder than ever. They ran, tackled, and practiced every detail. Jason worked the hardest. "I need to prove myself," he said. Some players forgave him. Others were still unsure. "Actions speak louder than words," Dylan said. Jason understood. He had to show his loyalty on the field. The school supported them. "Go, Westwood!" Students cheered. The principal was proud. "They changed our school," she said. Parents came to watch. The team was no longer a joke. They were fighters. The night before the final, the team sat together. "No matter what happens, we are brothers," Mike said. They put their hands together. "One last try," they said. Tomorrow they would fight for their biggest victory. The stadium was full. "This is it," Alex said. The other team was the best in the league. "They have never lost," Dylan whispered. Coach Daniels clapped his hands. "Then let's be the first to beat them," he said. The game was intense. The opponents were fast, strong, and skilled. Westwood struggled. The first half ended with them behind. "We are losing," one player said. But Coach Daniels smiled. "So what? We fight until the end." The second half started. Westwood pushed harder. Jason made a strong tackle, winning back his team's trust. "Welcome back," Mike said. The team played with heart. The crowd cheered. They believed. In the final minute, the score was tied. Westwood had the ball. "One last try," Alex said. The ball passed from hand to hand. Dylan ran, dodged, and dived into the goal. "Try." The referee blew the whistle. They had won the championship. The stadium erupted in cheers. The players hugged each other, some crying, some laughing. "We did it," Mike shouted. They had won the championship, something no one believed possible months ago. The principal and teachers applauded. "You made history," she said. Coach Daniels smiled. "You see? Hard work pays off," he told them. He was proud, not just because they won, but because they had grown as a team, as friends, and as people. The trophy was theirs, but the real victory was inside them. Jason stood apart for a moment, looking at the crowd. He had almost thrown everything away. Now, he was back with his team, and it felt right. "Thank you for giving me a second chance," he told Coach Daniels. That night, school held a celebration. Westwood High is back. Students cheered. Parents hugged their sons, proud of their hard work. "This is more than just rugby," one mother said. "This is a new beginning for all of them." After the victory, life slowly returned to normal. But something had changed. The players had confidence. They walked with their heads high. They had proven they could succeed. And that feeling stayed with them. Some players were offered scholarships to play rugby at university. "This was my dream," Alex said. He was going to college, something he never thought possible before rugby. "I owe everything to this team," he added. Others took different paths. Dylan decided to focus on his studies. "Rugby taught me discipline," he said. He was no longer the shy, weak player he once was. Now, he was strong, not just physically but mentally. Jason made a promise to himself. "I will never waste another chance," he said. He got a job, started studying harder, and stayed away from bad influences. Rugby had saved him. He would never forget that. One day, Coach Daniels gathered the team for one last meeting. Winning a championship is great, he said. But what really matters is who you become after it. The players listened carefully. They knew he was right. Some of you will continue playing rugby. Some of you will not. But remember this. The lessons you learned here will stay with you forever, he continued. The team nodded. They had changed. You learned discipline, teamwork, and respect, Coach Daniels said. Take these lessons into your lives, your families, and your future jobs. That is your real victory. The players clapped. They understood now. As they left the field that day, they felt something deep inside. They were not just rugby players. They were warriors. They had faced challenges, fallen, gotten back up, and conquered their fears. And that would stay with them forever. Years passed, and the players went their separate ways. But they never forgot their time at Westwood High. They still kept in touch, remembering the championship, the hard practices, and Coach Daniels' words. Mike became a coach. I want to inspire others the way Coach Daniels inspired me, he said. He worked with young kids, teaching them not just how to play rugby, but how to believe in themselves. Alex played rugby at university and later became a professional player. I never thought I would make it this far, he said. But he did, because he never gave up. His story became an inspiration to others. Dylan became a teacher. I was the shy kid who was afraid to speak. Now I help students find their voices, he said. Rugby gave him confidence, and he wanted to pass that on to the next generation. Jason took a different path. He did not play rugby again, but he worked hard, started his own business, and became a mentor for young kids. I almost lost myself, but rugby saved me. Now, I want to help others, he said. Westwood High never forgot that championship team. Their story was told for years. The school started taking sports more seriously, encouraging students to work hard in both academics and athletics. A new rugby team formed, inspired by the past players. We want to be like them, the new captain said. They trained hard, just like Coach Daniels had taught. The legacy continued. Coach Daniels eventually retired, but his impact never faded. Players still visited him, thanking him for changing their lives. You didn't just teach us rugby. You taught us how to be strong, they said. As the sun set on the Westwood High rugby field, one thing was clear. This was more than just a game. Rugby had transformed their lives, and they would carry that lesson forever.